5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
What's going on? It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the Boys. I'm doing fantastic this evening. How we doing, gentlemen?
Jeezy, I'm feeling real good actually. Angels envy, baby.
Hey, it's Mr. Gent out here. And did y'all have anything good for food this week? I had some good escargot from this little place.
Snails, bro. I don't eat snails.
Oh, this shit was fire though, man. The sauce was fire.
Snails.
If you get a chance to go by this place called Bites and Bubbles, it's off on Mills.
It's in Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando, Florida. Go give it a try. They're known for their escargot and their charcuterie boards and shit like that, and their cheeses, but it's on point.
The way Dad's sucking that lollipop, that's the best meal he had all week, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't often eat candy, so when I get a candy, I enjoy it.
That's a treat.
That man gave a Dos Equis commercial. I don't often do lollipops, but when I do, I suck it hard.
Like lollipop jokes with other niggas, but it ain't that deep, guys. It's just a lollipop.
And just FYI, before we got on camera, he made that joke to me, so that's...
I just said, look how you gripping the mic. Look right now before you move.
Oh, man, come on, man. Boy, I'm gripping it about as tight as you gripping that lollipop. So.
No,
that
I don't
sucker.
think so. I don't
that
think
sucker.
so. It's a whole hand right there. It's a whole hand,
right, I got to. I'm too high.
Okay, I got you.
If I remove any fingers, I might drop it.
I got you. Tighten up.
But we do have a guest today. So we have a singer, and she, the genre she's in, when I asked her to kind of explain it to me, it's neo soul, soft rock.
I like that neo soul.
It's that vibe. Her name is My Love. My Love, thank you for joining us here at Brunch. We appreciate you taking some time to sit down at the kitchen table with us. For those that don't know, we're gonna just call her Love for short, but Love, she was an image consultant for Frisco International, which is a leading beauty manufacturing company in the world, and she's also done this same type of work for Spokesmodel. She's done their TV, their red carpet image, any TV broadcast pieces, but she had a chance to really do what she loved, and that happened in summer of 2022. So, Love, you want to explain how you came into, your craft?
To be honest, I've always been surrounded by it. I've been, I guess you would say, a music or an artist student. I started behind the scenes. My family members are in the industry, and a lot of my friends, I'm not gonna name drop, but I started watching them and being behind the scene and more just admiring them from behind. And right before Corona hit, I got the opportunity to just really tune into what I like as an artist and my craft. And so I just stopped working for about 2-3 years and just focused really on getting my art out. So that's kind of how it started.
So that's fire for sure. So the song that we introed in was one of your new songs that you
Yes.
produced, 2 songs with DJ Icy, and this one was called I Can. What was the inspiration on that one right here?
It just evolved, man. It just evolved. Ice is a blessing. I had been asking to work with someone that has no hang-ups, has no judgment, and just want to go in there and just work. And he is from Nigeria, and he just so happened to be in California at the time. A friend gave me his number. I called, and I have a weekly session with him every week, and he pops it out. We go into the studio, he knocks it out in less than an hour. Yeah, he's phenomenal, and that's my best friend right now. That's my go-to guy.
I think
So
I think D is like 69% Nigerian too. So he might have some skill sets too. If you ever want to leverage King Des as in his craft, that's just how we do. So
Yeah.
really excited about what you got going on. So can you tell
Yeah.
me what you're most excited about in the upcoming months?
More live events. I'm networking. We're in new territory right now, but live events. But I have to say, as an artist, it just feels so good to release because I have a plethora of music that I've worked with other artists. No, real deal. Men, you guys are mean. Not all,
You
but
can be. You
I've
can
worked
be.
with some really phenomenal, producers and musicians, and they just hold it. And I have you know. So DJ is the first person that I actually was able to release with, and I'm so excited about that. Networking, Corona is that has left the atmosphere, so just being outside, it feels good to get outside again. I've been
it
trapped in the
does. It
house all
does.
day.
It does.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's wonderful, man. And we definitely want to do anything we can to support you. So all of our brunchies, we will be leaving links to her some of these two singles that she released.
yes, sir.
That
Yes, never
yeah,
forget.
we want to make sure we give you as much exposure as possible as well. But
Same here.
really want to also just take this time to bring you into today's topic. So
Okay,
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So we're gonna
what's
talk
on the
about.
table, man?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking about shacking up and basically living together and its effect on your relationship. As you know, a lot of people move in together as a sort of test for the relationship. It seems like it's a natural progression. If you're together, you have to live together and maybe ultimately get married. At least I believe that's what most women hope for. So we just want to talk about the motivation behind moving in together, the advantages of doing so before you get married, and the disadvantages, because there's always two sides to this. So the first one that I want to get into, and we've been talking about COVID and the pandemic. I believe financial reasons is a major factor or a motivator to move and live with someone right now. Like, man, everything's super expensive. If you pay attention, if you grocery shopping, everything's gone up. Maybe I live with this chick. Maybe I move in with this guy just so we can go half on the rent. I don't know if I want to be with them forever, but they help my financial situation.
what you
Yeah,
think, Des?
I call bullshit on that though,
Yeah.
because I think you can keep it real with people. There are people who just want roommates. You don't have to
Yeah,
be in a
that's what you need,
relationship
a
with them or
roommate.
leave them on. And I think there are there are groups of people who are looking for other people to cohabitate with to go half on the bills, right? So I think you got to just be real with what you need and not necessarily lead somebody on
Maybe
for a
they're not
purpose
leading
of
them
money.
on. Maybe they want to have sex with them too. So,
Well,
you know,
I don't know if the reason you want a relationship with a person is for any other reason other than to have a complete relationship with the person. Then I think at some point you're leading them on anyway.
Yeah.
If you just talk to somebody to fuck them, I don't know that that's any better or any different than kind of what initially I said.
yeah.
What do you think, love?
well, I've done the entire process, and honesty. Honesty, if you go into it with a plan, just like you do anything else, you go in with a plan and you keep doing a checkpoint. Okay, what's going to happen in the next 3 months? What's your plans for what's your plans for the next 6 months? What's your plans, for the year? But honesty is the thing. It's okay. I don't think it's bad to live with someone. Um,
What did you move in for?
all the above, to be honest.
Oh, that's what you did. Okay.
It was a good friend. We started off really good friends.
Yeah.
We had an intimacy that was good. The finances was stable, so the entire package was good. It depends on where you're at in your life too.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that
if
where you are, the stage you are in life,
yeah,
not to mention the age that you are as well, factors into that decision. So,
yeah,
a younger person may be more willing to jump out there on the ledge and move in with someone, or they may be more hesitant because they want to have their freedom. Where I do believe that you can do that on the flip side, where an older person may feel more inclined to do so because they feel like their time is dwindling, and now is the chance to really have that long lasting relationship. Or you can look at it and say, hey, I'm 45, 50 years old. I've been living alone. I'm set in my ways, and I don't really want to live with someone. You know what I mean?
I would argue that what we're talking about is the basis for marriage, period. Anyway, people got married because joining resources and dividing up the necessary labor in the relationship was much more effectively done when you had a union of two people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say that if you know, either you're living together for the reasons and shacking up for the reasons that people traditionally have for hundreds of years, or you're specifically only living with a person for the financial gain, right? To me, like anything, once it's financial gain and it's, and I like to have sex with them, and they're kind of funny. Well,
Yeah.
fucking then you like the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be, to me, that very narrowly defined, or
Well, see, I feel like it doesn't have to be a situation where marriage necessarily or longevity is the plan. And I do think there are people who go into things and see, this is what I need right now, but I'm not necessarily looking forward. Where I believe if you shack up, I thought it was for the purpose of marrying that person, or testing or seeing if maybe marriage is on the table for this relationship.
I can see
It's
that.
communication. If you communicate, because I take myself as an example. I'm single, been single, for a while.
Well,
Get it?
If I found a really good man that I knew that was responsible, took care of his business, and I was attracted to him, if he came into it and said, "I don't want to marry you, but I would like to live with you," I'd be okay with that, because
I
there's
told
nothing
y'all.
like waking up to your best friend, somebody that you can be intimate with,
Word.
or a good
Yeah, real
friend.
talk.
Yeah.
But if he's leading me on and saying that he wants to be married, he wants to get married, and I'm thinking 2 years go by or so, we don't get married, then yes, you're leading that person on.
And
But
wouldn't you agree that what they sell you on is what matters most? Because like you said, if he came to you openly and said, hey, I don't want marriage, I just want a long lasting relationship where we live together, you won't be focused on that, and you can then just enjoy the relationship.
yeah, it's
That's a
communication.
good point.
You can't tell me yes and but really mean no.
Yeah. Always say no, fellas.
Especially,
Always say no. And then if you change your mind later, they'll just be happier. But always say no, fellas. Okay.
yeah. I think it is men are. I think what I've come to notice is that the same skin tone is scared to be too truthful. If I tell you I'm scared, you're gonna come jump out in the bushes on me or something. So I have to lead this woman on and tell her everything she wants to hear at this current time, while I'm actually not really into it. Just be.
Yeah.
I promise you. You be honest. You don't like me. Just say you don't like it.
Do you know how much men do that? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in that situation where I said what I knew she wanted to hear to an extent, right? But I knew what I really needed to say was, you cool, but I don't really fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? But because of I didn't want to hurt her feelings, and I liked her fine. So it was like, no, we doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? But really, my
Tell
heart
her.
was saying, nigga, we both know in 2 months, nigga, you done with this. You know what I'm saying?
Tell
Like,
her.
yeah. No, we
I
gon'
promise you, as a woman, the man, I had somebody tell me, a man tell me something that hurt my feelings, but 3 years later, I was like, dang, I really like him,
Damn, it
because
took
when
3
we was in
years?
it, he told me the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you told me the truth. But the one who keep lying, he could shadow you with
Yeah.
everything, but he's lying to you. You have a disrespect for him now. I don't care
That
what he
made you
did.
want him more, didn't it? Didn't it make you
The
want him
truthful
more?
man, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even though the truth was that he really didn't like you like that. And that's a tough
Exactly.
truth.
Yeah.
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 How many
But he
I've
liked me.
never been told that, so I can't imagine someone saying, hey man, look,
So no one's ever told you like I don't really want to fuck with you.
no, like,
that.
man, you cool, man, but man, I just can't see it.
No one's ever said
I've never.
that to you?
I've only known, can we be together forever? I've only known, you don't want to be with me, you don't love me. I've only known her trying to stay around longer than she knew she should.
I really wanted to be able to say that I have too, but
Somebody
I
didn't
couldn't
let you go?
I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I couldn't figure
Man,
it
I'm
out.
sorry, bro.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
No, it hurt though.
No, I've never experienced it.
Oh, you never did.
I mean, but I've been cheated on.
Yeah, I mean, every nigga's been cheated on, whether he
We
knows
don't
it or
gotta
not.
open that box.
Yeah, well, let's not open that box. So, no, that's a Pandora's box there. We'll be there forever. We got to leave that.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Just I promise you. I think with the men that I've come in contact, think the mama's gonna come out of you. You know where they say your mama,
Yeah.
they hear their mom screaming at them or whatever. So I think that's what they take. Like, oh, if I tell her the wrong thing, she's gonna turn into a mama.
Right.
But you know, you say that. Why does the man think that? You know, women tend to say shit like that, and it's like, you know, you're doing this, but there's a reason we're doing it.
He's seen
a
it.
man has been placed in that position so many times where a woman acts like that. So why wouldn't he respond?
He's
that
been
way?
predisposed to that type of behavior, so you know he's adjusting for it for sure.
I just tell the truth.
Yeah, we as men, we really need to do better with ripping the Band-Aid off and treating them like adults.
With the hair and everything.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if you're so but if you really think about it though, if a chick did come to me and was like, hey, you know, I think you're good, I think you're cool, but I just don't see a future for us.
No, but what happened if she said, I think you're cool, but your sex is subpar, and I don't think I can.
Well, see, now you start talking about impossible shit, bro.
No,
like, we're not gonna do that, bro. But if she said something about me,
that she didn't like,
yeah, because I think sometimes you can meet someone that's cool, that's attractive, and they have their shit together, but you just don't feel that spark. Something says you're not the one. If someone said to me like, no, man, I like you, it's a good vibe, it's just I don't see a future for us, I'll be like, man, I get it, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Okay.
So like I don't think it really matters when it comes to that. But let me interesting little study I read about shacking up versus marriage, and it was talking about which is better, and they were saying as far as health wise, marriage was more advantageous because you know you get on a shared health plan, shit like that. Your wife always asking you when the next time you going to the doctor type shit. But they said couples who just shacked up, they had more happiness and more self-esteem.
Yeah, you know what? It's so funny that you say that because they made an article around Don Cheadle, and because he just recently got married. So Don
he waited a long time.
Don was with his chick for 26 years. They had 2 kids, 2 grown kids now.
Right.
And
that's how you do it, D. That's how you do it.
Kids are super grown, and he just got married now, and he would be that proverbial shack up for all these years and all the whole duration of their adolescence life, right? So, and he only did it solely for the business aspect of it. There were some business deals that it would have been more advantageous for him to be, you know, in that status, but he saw health and happiness within the construct of his relationships as it was. He said if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have done it. That's what he said.
He's the smartest man in the world. Anything he does wrong, any cheating, whatever, and they're together in 20 years, and he says, well, leave then.
Yeah.
You're not fucking married, leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she ain't go nowhere. Why? Because she knew she ain't got him. Now watch her how she act up. Oh, shit. I bet you she acting up immediately.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hope not, because that was a lot of years, but yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some of the advantages of living together before marriage. All right, one of those things is spending more time with each other. I mean, isn't that the most obvious benefit right there? I think that's an important part of it all. You know what I mean? And I do think you get to learn more about your partner when you live with them. And more importantly, I think you get to discover any potential deal breakers.
Right.
When you agree, because you can't really see those unless you're living with someone.
That's a fact. You got to be there.
Once you move in, you just see a whole different side of a person.
I mean, I think that's natural anyway. It's a realistic job preview for me, right? So if you have the opportunity to see her day in, day out, all them little ugly little habits that she been hiding away from you because she don't want you to know that her fart stink like a hero and goes off like a Hiroshima bomb. Like now you can't run from that
one. You've been saving that.
No, I'm just saying.
That reference.
No, not that reference, but you know
like
that's just how I thought about it when I saw.
How did you feel? How did you feel, Des, the first time your girl that you moved in with farted in front of you? Did it affect you at all? Was it like, this was coming, I knew it?
Yeah, I don't really like that. But
Damn.
yeah, I don't like that.
It's
I
a
feel
human body
Cause
function,
you know
bro.
what though? Like, cause I know there's women, I know dudes that be like, yo, my woman never farted in front of me. She go to her room.
Yeah.
So my point is like, why can't you be like his
You
wife?
want to be.
That's
That's
what you say.
Yeah. Why
You just
can't
gotta
be like
say.
that?
You just gotta say what you want. Don't compare that with. They don't like.
Listen, let me be honest with you. When you fart in front of somebody,
Yeah.
it's low key because you don't give a fuck what they think. so what you're telling me
It's
is
disrespectful.
Like, you consistently disrespect me, dog. You know?
Hold on, this the icing on the cake though.
Women tend to mimic what a man does. If he gets comfortable like that.
I was just gonna ask that, love, because I'm willing to bet that nigga will fart right in front of her.
Hey, listen.
Will you fart in front of her?
Listen, no doubt. But listen to me. That's not the point. The point is, you ain't me. She ain't me. That shit is not acceptable.
It is the point, though.
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the person I'm supposed to be with, they're gonna know that shit is not for me, and they're not gonna do it. So
and they're gonna be fine with you doing it.
Folks, listen, all the girls that like to fart in front of niggas, like good luck. Go find you one. All the ones that like to keep it tight and keep it right, come on, let your boy. You know what I mean?
Why she getting up every 2 minutes to go to leave while you watching the movie? Who cares?
Listen, slight inconvenience for yourself, but you're providing inconvenience for your man. You love me and I love you too, girl.
That's hilarious. I don't want that silent shit too. If you gonna fart, announce your shit. Because if I have to smell it before I hear it, I got a problem.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I think a woman should always keep herself presentable for her man.
Yeah.
And ladies, before you kill me on this, because I know this may sound a little bit different than my typical stance, but I mean this. I'm not talking about face full of makeup, hair done, got the nicest duds on. I mean, look like you, when you see your man, when you interact with your man, I'm not talking about when you wake up in the morning, y'all getting ready. I'm talking about he came home from work or you was off or whatever it was. Put yourself in a position where if he sees you or if he's doing something, he sees you, he's like, man, that's my girl right there.
It should be Usher, There Goes My Baby. He should start singing it.
100%, because my point is, you'll have women that argue against me, but there are women that do this every day.
Every day.
Listen, isn't it
every
inconvenience
day.
for the woman sometimes? 100%. But in a relationship, we all do things that inconvenience us at times, and that is part of the definition of a true relationship, that you're willing to do things that inconvenience you or that not your cup of tea for the happiness of somebody else. That's my take on it.
If the purpose is, I always hear women say, I only want my man to have eyes for me. I only want him to want me. Well, then you have to keep up that image that you set when he first met. Because when a man first sees a woman, you're not farting the moment you meet him. You're not on the first date like, man, shit.
And although that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, but although I know, and I agree with you, although I understand that aspect, I mean, I think there's a point where someone should be able to say, man, I could let my hair down a bit.
What about in bed, like in bed, like you're about to go to sleep.
And do a hot box?
Because I get it in you in the daytime. I actually agree with you.
I don't want to stay on the farts. I mean, I think at the end of the day.
This is a big one, though.
I think.
If you really think about it, this is probably more serious than anything. Like, nobody don't want to smell that shit. Even taking a shit in the toilet and you walk in there and there's residue behind.
I think that matters to some people and to some people that don't.
It really doesn't. Like for me, it wouldn't matter to me. But like hearing someone brush their teeth,
you'll let her fart in your mouth. Go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, it's not anything new to know that I wouldn't. I'll eat asshole with a spoon. But what I will say is, when it comes to like someone brushing their teeth by me, that's more nails on the chalkboard than it is someone farting and trying to hotbox me. So everyone has their own thing. And I'm sure if I asked Love right now, she'd be like, yeah, this is the one thing that I can't stand if a man does in my space.
What would that be for you, Love? Is there something that you just don't want a man to do
in your space?
Just nastiness. Not being. I have a light case of OCD, so if he goes to the potty, I always think you need to scrub spray a little something and scrub it out. Manners. Yeah. Being mindful, pick up your clothes.
It's not as normal as
the manners are.
I don't mind doing that, but just be
not
mindful that we're living together.
Yeah.
You can't leave streets.
One of the tips right there.
Though I'm not saying it's streets, but
one of the tips of living together, and this is shacking up our marriage, is keeping the mystery. It's imperative that you keep some mystery. And I never want to see your shit. That should be a mystery forever. I know you do it because you need to do so to live, but I should never ever witness it and or really ever smell it.
Listen, I think once
Well,
again,
that's you. Do you burn a lot of incense
Yeah, I got a
oils?
lot of fucking candles, nigga. Light a goddamn match, nigga. Light a spliff. I don't care what you do. Light something.
man, if the point of contention in your relationship is that you smelt her shit one too many times, you got a really awesome relationship. If you happen
Yeah,
to be
I
fortunate
agree.
enough to get into a relationship with somebody that you want to spend all of your free time with and maybe make other humans, newsflash, nigga, you might smell her shit occasionally because y'all living in close proximity and that's a natural bodily function.
It
I
is.
do agree and I don't think it's a woman or man thing.
Yeah,
I think
it's
individuals
anybody.
should take care and you know when it comes to those types of things, doing it in the way that's least offensive to other people. But at the end of the day, if you got the shit, you got the shit. And if we share the same bedroom and there's one bathroom in it, you might smell a little bit of it.
And I'm not saying that I wouldn't go, but I say this
Can we get
about
off the shit by the way too?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
will. But I just say this about
You're
myself,
gonna
not even
smell
about
it. It's just
shit.
how you do it. You know?
Yeah, and I'm not
Yeah,
even unfocused from the shit part. I just believe in keeping mystery about a lot of things, like natural bodily function. I don't think you have to put it to the front end just because we're together, just because we're living together, just because we're married. I do think you can keep the mystery, but we can definitely move on from that shit.
How long do you keep a mystery if you married 30, 40 years?
I'm just saying I don't ever have to make it a point where I'm shitting in the bathroom door open and you're like, come on
agree-
there.
I agree with that.
That point
Yeah,
is
I
what
agree
I'm
with
talking
that.
about.
I agree
But
with that.
yeah, if I walk by and you shitting and the door's closed, I'm not even gonna complain. I'm gonna light a candle and say, damn girl, you in there killing it, make a joke and move on. But I don't want you to get too comfortable, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Another advantage of living together before marriage is shared finances, which is something we talked about. But let's move past that a bit because it's a bit obvious. Creating a deeper bond. And one of the things I liked about that is because it allows you to establish good habits, shared habits, you know what I mean, within the relationship, both emotional and physical. Because I think until you really live with someone, you learn more about how to treat them. You know what I mean? Would you agree?
I think there's a different level of intimacy that you can create and foster when you get to live with someone versus just dating someone. And it's not just because it's a proximity issue. Oh, this chick right here, so therefore, you know, it's a natural thing. No, it's still very much intentional, and I think you got to work at it. But I think it's one of those things where you're thinking your whole relationship can evolve just based off of saying, dang, I just was able to sit here on the couch with her for 8 years. I mean, for 8 years. I'm sorry, for 8 hours. And dog, I had the time of my life, and we did shit. This is why during the COVID times, that you know, when people were locked in and proximity was in play, man, a lot of bitches weren't making it through that.
Yeah, a lot of relationships failed.
A lot of relationships was failing easy peasy,
Yeah.
right? Because they didn't have that intimacy. So now they got to face the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror, you know. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think it's that piece that's important when you're talking about like that type of situation.
Let me ask you a question, Love. Do you think that living together, and I don't know if you've been married before, but do you think that living together takes away some of the fear of marriage? Maybe you can answer that for me, Des.
Repeat that one more time.
Do you think that living together takes away some of the fear of marriage?
Not for me, because I think the fear of marriage is the actual commitment, not the cohabitation.
Yeah.
Right? So I think in some aspects you could argue that it does because it lets you into a little bit more about who that person is. So you're mitigating how many surprises pop up, you know what I'm saying, when you actually do live together. But for me, the fear of marriage, I think for most people, is that commitment that I can't just walk away. You're not just boyfriend, girlfriend no more. And I think that's the big thing. And once you get married, you don't get to practice that marriage. You're either married or you're not, you know?
Makes sense.
Can you answer
Yeah.
the question?
I was asking you, do you feel that living together takes away some of the fear of marriage if you live together first?
It honestly depends on the individual. The way I look at it, it's like something simple. Test driving a car. You have an idea of when you make that turn, how it's going to turn, you go up that hill. I don't find anything wrong with that. Again, it's just when you do it. If you're not ready for marriage, you're never going to get married, at that particular time.
And I don't know that anybody is particularly ready for marriage. I don't know that you are. I think you have to commit to the idea of it, and you only have an idea of what you think it is. And until you really get in it, I don't believe you know.
And that's exactly what I think she's saying with the whole test car. I mean, the test drive with a car, because, we know a car is expected to do, but, man, until you drive it, you don't really know whether you want to take it off the lot.
So you drive it for an extended period of time.
And I would argue.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I would argue that. Go ahead, love.
No,
Okay.
I've known some people that have met each other in 2 weeks and got married and stayed together for more than 5 years. And then I met people that known each other from elementary and then got married soon after they get out of high school and divorced within a year.
Yeah.
Again, it's the individual and your mind state and your background and what
Agreed.
you want as an individual.
Yeah, and I was going to say, to piggyback off that, I think the definition. I don't know that there's a definition for marriage, because I think you could say, well, marriage is a committed relationship. Well, no, a committed relationship is a committed relationship, right, and that doesn't necessarily marriage.
Agreed.
So I don't know that marriage has a definition. I think it's an idea, right, that's going to differentiate, right? Because we talked about the test drive. Love talked about the test drive analogy. What I would say is, she may drive a car and go, ain't no damn way I'm buying this car.
Yeah.
There ain't no way I'm committing to this car. This is not me. And another motherfucker hop in and say, God, this is the best car I've
drive
ever
ever.
had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think
Perspective.
that goes back to
Shared
what I was saying.
ideals of
Correct.
what you believe marriage to be is when the marriages are successful.
100%. And the question is, how often are those shared ideas of what a successful marriage or what marriage is are 100% aligned? You're good if you get 75%, you're doing all right.
You're doing pretty good. And they always say the 80-20 rule, so I imagine
Right.
80% is awesome, and you got to let that 20 go.
And to be honest with you, I think that when you're AKA shacking up, I think that gives you an opportunity to see, to obtain that alignment, to calibrate, to have those discussions, to actually put it into practice and see, shoot, this
This is the time. This is why we're doing it.
This is what we're doing.
And you said it, Des. That's the best advantage of living together before marriage, the ability to walk away.
Yep.
Like, I believe that's why I was going to say men, but I believe women do this as well. They know if we just live together, if shit goes bad, we don't got no kids, I'm out of here. And I think that makes it more of an attractive approach than, hey, let's get married, we love each other. No, we live together first and see if we can really do this.
And what you want may change, because I think I've used this example before on one of our earlier podcasts, but we all have a shared friend who was with an individual for 5 years, and they lived together for about a year and a half. And right when she was like, hey, what's going on?
But that was horrible.
I hesitate to use the word pressure, because there was no pressure. Question is not a pressure. A couple questions.
Yeah, a couple questions is
Yeah.
I put my pinky toe in the pool, right?
Where these last 5 years going? Where these last 5 years going? And he was like, oh, if you want to pressure me, you can leave. And proceeded within a couple of weeks to...
That's a nigga that was waiting for her to say something. Say something, bitch. Say something.
But there was nothing that they had jointly. There was no need for him to lead her along.
Exactly.
I think he just... It was...
Something hit him one day, dog. We don't know what hit him one day, but something hit him one day.
Questions?
There's so much beauty in that,
questions,
though.
bruh.
There's so much beauty in that. And to me, one would argue that's why shacking up is so much more beneficial, because I am here out of choice. And when you're married, if you can shit yourself if you want to, you're lying. You do have a sense of obligation.
Right.
And because you committed to this in front of friends, family, God, you signed up for this. So if we're boyfriend, girlfriend, it's a lot easier to say, hey, this isn't working, and you're gone. And that just, I know that to be true. Marriages linger. Relationships tend not to. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I guess I can agree with that, yeah.
I also believe some people ultimately are better off living alone. Would you agree that everyone is not meant to cohabitate?
I will agree.
Statistics would say that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 51% of people get married say, man, this shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
At least not with this motherfucker.
Or even living with someone.
Right.
I think this, and I think it would change for or it's different for men and women, the reasons, because I think a lot of men would say that because they like their freedom and they can go woman to woman, they can do what they want. And even the men that are in relationships and they just want to live in their own, they want to have their own space. But there are a lot of women who are so set in their ways. We were at the barbershop, we were talking, and a lot of the guys were saying they don't want an older woman because she's so set in her ways from the things that she's been through that she's not going to adjust. She's not going to be moldable. And it's like, you don't want that. Whereas with a young girl, she can adapt still, and maybe you guys can work things out.
So my love, let me ask you a question. So when you go on a date with an individual and everything's going well, and let's say you have some sexual interaction, is it an issue for you to immediately to stay there the night versus you have a real desire to go back home and be in your space? Or is that like an easier transition for you?
Wait,
I'm just curious.
I want to make sure I understand the question.
Yeah,
so you saying if she fucks somebody, she staying or she going?
Yeah, you staying or you going? But is it because some people it's easy for them to stay?
I'm a cuddle bear. I don't like.
So you stay in the night
unless I have something important to do, and that's understood. But I'm a cuddle bear. I want to stay.
And the funny thing is, if I felt like for the people who it's so easy for them to stay, D, like cohabitating is so much easier to do versus the ones that then they'll take their pillow home, right? They'll they pack a bag every time, dog. As soon as the shit wrapped up and they wipe up, dog. Listen, I'ma holler at you.
You know what's crazy though? I've never had that.
Me
from
either.
a female perspective.
I've had it but once. Go ahead, finish the story.
I was gonna say like no one ever wanted to leave.
I've had that happen once, right? And she left, and I shit you not, 10 minutes later, she was knocking at the door like, man, I didn't really want to leave. I just didn't want you to,
I'm telling you.
And she came back 10 minutes later. And when she left, I was like, damn, this bitch really left. I thought I almost questioned myself.
Yeah,
but then she came back.
You got to be the ones to usher in.
Yeah, but then she came. Always. But the last and best advantage of living together before marriage is living pussy. I mean, let's be honest. Living pussy is a great motivator.
That can get old though.
Obviously, it can, but it's something about being able to
consistent pussy.
Think about this: we've all been able to get sex at our leisure, at our convenience. However, if you don't have a hoe next to you in the bed, you can't get it in 4 a.m. You can't wake up, get some head before work. You got to have live-in pussy. That's an advantage. No,
that is a benefit, bro.
That's not a benefit, Des.
You don't see that as a benefit.
She gonna come over there at 6:30 in the morning before she go to work. That's not gonna happen.
And I understand the whole variety. In your head, you probably thinking, man, shoot, variety. But the reality for me is safe. We left the word out. Safe.
Safe pussy.
Yeah.
When has a man ever thought about that?
I mean, I do. Nah. I consider it a lot though.
Nah. Back in the days, niggas was risking their lives. Niggas was throwing it all on the line.
Yeah,
they were. I'm just saying. So safe is smart now, but back in the days, you know what I'm saying.
Safe and good. So it has to be safe and good.
How do you feel about living dick, love?
I love it.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Thought so.
I need it.
I'm telling you, though, every woman wants it,
She said, I love it and I miss it.
Every woman wants it. I think a lot of men, and I've been guilty of this as well in the past.
Just one.
Yeah, we just believe that we want it and the woman is just kind of going with it type deal. But women want the dick probably as much as maybe not as much, but along that lines, as we men do.
Yeah.
Right, love? I know you want that dick.
No, seriously.
Oh, well, she said, I do.
Yeah, I do.
And listen, you got to think about this. We want it all the time.
Yeah.
And we the ones putting the work in.
Yeah, all the work. We doing 100% of it.
Get fucked and feel good.
No, you're not. It depends on the person.
Yeah,
that's true.
We don't want to hear about these fucking unicorns. Okay? We get that they exist, but no one.
You show me a picture.
They're rarely seen. You know what I'm saying? They're rarely seen. Men do 95% of the work when it comes to sex, and that's just facts.
No,
that is facts.
It depends on the person you're dealing with.
Boy, I didn't.
Yeah, I done ran into a lot of lazy ones.
I don't know. Yeah, clearly.
A lot of pillow
That's
princesses.
the way you train.
Yep.
Training them to be lazy.
cut logs. I call them cut logs.
She's saying
Years
you accepting shit you ain't supposed to
There
accept.
are a lot of women that literally are, I don't want to say against riding dick, but it's just not their thing, and I don't know how you're gonna make them do it. How are you gonna? Hey, you gonna ride this dick? Like, it's gonna be so uneventful because she's already not embracing it. And there are a lot of women that they up there, and if you get 20 seconds of consistency, you won.
I would tell you a lot of. I've heard this from friends. A lot of big girls are self-conscious about even getting on top.
Yeah.
And so they don't even try because they don't want to. They don't want that 220 on a guy. So
Yeah.
They
have 220.
I mean, I try to go light.
Gotta get to California, Texas girl.
Yeah. And what man's ever complained about the pussy getting slapped down on him too hard? Like,
yeah, man. But
you,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
You've never had a situation where you're like, this is too much?
From what I've heard from women, it's not been so much about them wondering if you can take it. It's been more about when a woman is on top, like she's on display. Right? When we're on top, we're on display.
Agreed.
You get to see all of us.
But but listen, to be on top, you gotta want to be displayed. You ever seen that
exactly.
thing at work when they say, "Tell me how you like to be recognized"?
Yeah.
Everybody want a party.
Yeah.
Some people want an email that says you did a good job.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
because they don't want to be seen. It's just the truth.
Know what
And
I'm
I
saying?
think a lot of women that don't ride, it's just more insecurity than it is, anything else to me.
Yeah.
And bad knees. Everybody ain't got the Megan Stallion knees.
Some souls just out of shape.
Yeah.
If she can't walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath, she's probably not gonna be a good dick rider.
That's a good litmus test, I
Do
believe.
you think that once you start living together, go ahead, love.
What you say?
Let
I
love
think it depends on you. Again, everything is individual, but some people go into like a fight, and some women like that aggression. But you can't fight with everybody. You gotta, marinate in it a little bit.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
I always let it marinate.
It's almost like you're battling. It's not sex. It's like I'm for the whoop you sexually.
Yeah.
But
I actually had my homegirl, Sint was saying that a lot of these niggas, they fuck her so aggressively, like they hate her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
No, but I think there's a connotation, right? We hear this in rap songs, right?
Yeah.
And it permeates the mind. We gonna quote unquote, we gonna kill the pussy.
Beat the pussy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beat the pussy. Yeah, I'm gonna hit it.
But listen, here's what I'm saying though. You gotta
But
know.
there's times for that, though. There's
Yeah,
times
there
for that
is.
and
section.
there's women for that. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Listen.
Knock
there-
her uterus out.
Listen. There are, like you said, as individual, depends on who you got. There are women who like to be fucked hard all the time.
Yeah.
They want
It's a lot of work.
Don't be caressing them and being
Yeah.
sweet shit. They want you to fuck.
Choke them,
And they'll
slap
tell you,
them.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Fuck me hard.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Lucifer comes out.
Fuck me
Okay.
hard, all that shit. And
Okay.
then you got the ones that want you to kiss on the navel and shit for 3
Yeah.
hours and lick the back of the neck. And you want to get the fucking, but
Yeah.
you can't because
And they
Because
want
you're on your Maxwell.
So we could go about this. We could keep classifying
Yeah,
over and over. There's a bunch of chicks that just want to kiss through the whole session. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is too.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. So you do have to.
I do like to get my kissing out
No,
early,
sexual
early in the game.
compatibility
Yeah.
is an important thing
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
My question is, do you think that you can sustain that level of passion that you have in the beginning of the relationship when you're living together?
if she does what I said before, if she always makes sure, because I'm gonna tell you, the keeping yourself presentable is about the optics and the visualization for sure. But there's also a mental aspect where your man goes, this bitch gives a fuck.
Yeah.
She cares. She cares about making me look at her in the way that I should be looking at her. So you get a double benefit from that effort. You get the actual visual shit that men are, and then you get him thinking about the effort you put in to be what he
To
wants
be
you
the,
to be.
and a
You know
man
what I
will
mean?
appreciate that
No
so
doubt.
much.
So let me ask a question. Do you think that the sexual experience actually gets better if you in a shack up live-in situation versus if you are in a dating situation and
Oh, it's got to get better.
You think so? I think good sex and good sexual compatibility is just that. I don't know that living together.
I actually agree with you. You're right. I actually agree. I do think that the more you make a woman feel secure, the more of a whore she will be for
No
you.
doubt.
And they will
No
tend
doubt.
to be more stable and feel more secure when you're living with them because
okay.
now they know where you are at night.
talk.
And if you're not in a relationship and you live separately, you could leave her house at midnight, nigga.
Yeah.
I promise you, she in her mind like, man, I think he could have fucked another hoe on the way home.
And it's so horrible that they think like that.
You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
though.
and
I agree with
it
you.
doesn't
I
matter
agree.
at all. So I do think that you need to live with them to get the best version of their sex game.
So the question to you, Love, just so we could pose it back to you: do you think that the sexual experience gets better if you have a living situation versus dating and living separately?
Living. I'm
And why?
Because she missed it.
Because he missed.
No, because it's consistent. You get to know that. You get to learn that person a little bit more faster. And then you know more. You'll get more comfortable with that person.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question based on what she said. So I don't necessarily disagree, but can't you argue that all you're doing is shorten the learning curve and ultimately it flattens out anyway?
And that you would have gotten there regardless, even if you were living
Might take
separately.
you an extra month or two.
Yeah. Or 6
I like
even.
living.
Perhaps. We
I
know.
like living.
I think it's all about accessibility and convenience. Men, and not to focus on cheating, so please stick with me on the point. Men cheat in most occasions out of convenience. The pussy fell on his lap. He ain't even see it coming. It's not wise to think you're going to keep a man sexually satisfied when he doesn't have access to it when he's ready to. If a nigga got to go drive to go get this, that's that, and the other, he might
now
fuck.
he ranking.
Oh yeah, he might fuck something else though, because it's more convenient. You live over there and he loves you. He love that pussy, nigga, but he got to drive 50 minutes.
Right.
But that whore lives 5 minutes down the street,
Right.
so she might get the dick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's
That's
just
true.
convenience. So that's where to me living pussy does matter because I'm less likely to fuck another hoe because I have some pussy at the house. You know what I'm saying?
So living pussy essentially absolves you of your responsibility to keep your dick to yourself, is what you're telling me.
I think that a dog needs a fucking leash, and I'm a fucking dog. And I've always said this to women. I said, I know myself. I need a leash. Put that fucking leash on or I'm straying. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, no
I
doubt.
feel like you leading a literal leash too. I think you get down.
Nah,
like
I don't
that.
get down like
But no
that. But
doubt.
I will choke the shit out of a hoe. if
Listen,
you-
and I don't
curious.
disagree with you because I think this is the same principle. Some kids need ass whooping.
Facts.
Some kids need to get beat, and some kids need to have conversations.
A guilt talk, and they're the.
I'm so
Oh my God, I'm
disappointed
so
in you."
sorry, dog.
Right.
Dog, you're not lying, and my kids are like that.
Right.
One don't give a fuck about that disappointment. The other, when you hit disappointment, she'll do anything in the world to make it right. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
So let me ask you a question. Going back to what Jeezy said, Love. So Jeezy basically was saying like the more secure you are, and that security happens with living, allows you to kind of tap into your inner freak. Like you're gonna provide a better sexual experience, versus being separated and not living together. That insecurity will play into whether you're actually gonna give him the best pussy you ever had. Do you agree with that or not?
Give me that back.
Well, some of my friends, they don't want to live with their guy because he takes care of everything else.
Right.
So when she does meet up with him, she's breaking his back.
yeah.
But
She's
me
appreciative.
personally, I can't get comfortable. It takes me a minute to get comfortable with the individual. So I have to be real close to that person.
Yeah.
To release.
Some girls are different, yeah.
No, you.
So
to me,
women out here holding back pussy?
not even that. What I found is right. Women are here. A lot of women. What I heard in that from that love. They're holding back cum. They're holding back nuts. Like they're not letting themselves relax
If you fucking right,
so
you
they
should
can
not
come.
Yeah, I
holding back
can't.
the cum.
Yeah, but that's just it. You heard her say it. A woman, a lot of times, they can help facilitate that nut. They got to relax. They got to open up. They have to be welcoming to it, and then they can come a lot easier. I truly believe a lot of women that's never come on dick is because they're not letting it happen. I'm
They're
not
not-
saying
they're
that's
not- they're
all,
not
all
comfortable
of it.
with themselves.
But you have to be
Right,
comfortable.
right.
You have to be like, nah, fuck me.
But
Use
they
me
can
as
pretend
your
real
vessel.
Good, though. You'll think something really happened, but it didn't. Some women are really good pretenders because they're good. Some men are very
Nah,
good.
you can't
providers,
fake that.
So she
Yeah,
doesn't
you
want to
can't.
discipline.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
But that's
You have a little gap
that's a
on the
dumb
side of the
lie
bed
though.
you
That's a
don't know
dumb
about,
lie.
but she-
That lie doesn't benefit her or the man. And
What,
every
faking
man,
faking the O?
yeah, faking the O. Every man, and I don't care. I have pride.
I can't
So,
fake it.
so I want a man. I want to make my girl come, but I don't. I would want her to tell me if I'm not, so I can fucking do something about it. Don't lie to me, and now you're torturing yourself, and I'm over here thinking like that's the dumb.
I think you're saying it's dumb. I think you're putting yourself in a.
Yeah, I agree with you. Egos are fragile.
Right. A lot of niggas out here got fragile.
Yeah,
egos.
don't lie to me.
Yo, there's women out here that if their advances are rebuffed by a woman, they feel like they got to put their hands on it.
To your point, your point, I feel like men's ego is even more fragile than women's ego.
No doubt.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
We've been telling women how they should look their whole lives. You know
That's true. All right, so let's get into the disadvantages of living together before marriage. This one, it was so simple and funny to me. You may actually never get married. You know what I mean? And I think this is the truest of them all, because if we've been living together, essentially, I've already gotten the milk without having to buy the cow. So why should I have to marry you?
Yeah, I would never think that.
I understand that.
I think a lot of men have that mindset, and they, stretch things out because they know essentially, hey, nigga, like, shit already been straight. We living together already.
But that assumes that the primary reason for marriage is so you can get the milk. Yeah. So I don't really understand that. Like, if you marrying somebody, you should be marrying them to get the milk, but you should also be marrying them because you want to spend time with them, and you want to spend all your free time.
You want the dairy farm.
Yeah,
right,
I agree.
Right. So like,
she said the whole farm, baby.
Yeah,
go ahead,
sure.
love.
So like,
I agree with you.
You got to work that farm, though, but go ahead.
Sometimes the farm grows.
Hey, the farm work is a hard fucking life, bro.
It is.
I tell you that.
Lifting heavy weights.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Whole Foods, nigga. I tell you that.
Pay that premium.
Pay that premium at Publix, baby.
Yeah, word.
So I believe also a disadvantage is a level of uncertainty within the relationship. So I guess my question to you is, does marriage reassure you more in your relationship?
If you say no, you lying. I just want to say that, love.
I don't think for a man, I don't think a lot of men
I
is
wouldn't
that.
say no. I would say yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marriage
But
reassures you.
Especially nowadays, a lot of men don't want to commit because it's so easy to have multiple relationships.
Real easy.
People are more understanding nowadays. I know I'm not the only one, but you take care of X, Y, and Z. I see you when I see you. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's like you'd rather get a part of them than none of them.
And a lot of people are dealing with those situations.
Yeah. I don't believe men, and I know I can only really speak for myself, but I don't believe marriage would make me more confident in my relationship. You know what I mean? I don't see how that would make me, oh man, like I was worried about losing her,
Yeah.
I think marriage is a way to say I want something long term with you. But you can, in my opinion, you can always change your mind. But
have you ever thought about love, signing a contract, creating your own terms of how money will play out should anything happen to you, et cetera, creating your own contract and commitment instead of using, the law as far as marriage goes, where you still take care of each other, where you're still showing commitment because you're signing a contract with a notary and everything without having to actually go the way of marriage. Would that work?
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that. Like, you're taken care of, but we're not technically. That's, to me, shows more commitment because I'm going out of my way to make this happen, and I'm not going the way of society or the way things are told to me do. Like, I'm here every day. You're gonna know I'm here because I want to be.
That shouldn't even. But you shouldn't even have to. You shouldn't even have to do the whole contract deal. I feel like if you really fuck with somebody, then you being there every day, you being there for them when they need you and all those things, they show up. Like,
yeah.
And at the end of the day, people do what they're supposed to do, for you, when they pass with something. I don't know, man. It seems so artificial. It seems so artificial to have an agreement and all this stuff.
Because the society has brainwashed you. Go ahead, love.
What?
He said
Let me respond to that.
You have to be also with the way that some men that I dated, it's like if they have a piece of you, they feel like they own you. And that's one of the scariest reasons why I haven't really been in a committed relationship, because it's like I have the deed on you. I have a title on you and I own you type. Like,
and
you ain't did
and and
nothing.
and
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 I
there's
don't know
some
how
biblical
long,
reasoning
bro.
behind that, but it's not a real true ownership.
But don't you want a man to claim you?
Yeah,
Isn't that the point? Isn't that
that's
the
what
point?
every woman who wants a marriage is wanting.
Yeah, but you don't want to feel bound to that relationship based on a piece of paper. That is all. That's marriage. When you get,
You know,
it's
I think
just
most women do.
solidifying to everyone in the
Exactly.
public. Oh, we're married.
Yeah. Doug,
We're
have you ever
married.
heard women the
Having a
way
big
they talk?
celebration to tell y'all that we're married, and you were married if you guys started living together.
You ever notice a woman how they talk when they're married? Everything is my husband. Everything is
doubt.
my husband.
No doubt.
Oh, this is my husband. Can I just be motherfucking L? Like, I have a name, bitch. Like, everything is my husband. So I do think saying husband is like a medal. It's like saying I made it. You know what I mean?
It's the ultimate covenant.
It's the ultimate prize
Yeah.
for young
He's
women who have grown
proud.
into women that we have programmed from why do 7-year-old girls say they want to get married and have 2 kids?
Yeah.
7-year-old boys never say that. It's because we push that ideology on young girls. We socialize
Not
them
me,
in that
but
shit,
yeah.
to that shit. And that's why this generation now, these 20-somethings, they're breaking a mold. It's just like, we ain't having no kids.
Yeah,
And
they
if I
don't.
do,
A lot
I'll
of
be
them don't.
42.
Yeah,
You know
a
what I
lot.
mean? So they're breaking that. But
A lot of risks there, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want that. A lot of things are perpetuated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
They don't
Another
people don't want to get married nowadays.
facts.
They just want to have fun.
Yeah.
See.
One of the disadvantages of living together is actually increased risk of divorce. You know what I'm saying? Couples who cohabitate seem they're making the logical choice to be together. And they're making the choice out of love. They're making the choice out of good reasoning. So it's more of a choice where if you just get married first, you kind of feel like you're in it and you got to stay in it. So I think that it is an advantage more than a disadvantage, and I don't think there's an increased risk of divorce. I know this is what I said, we're supposed to be arguing the opposite, but I don't believe it's an increased risk of divorce. I think divorce is already 50-50, and I think the whole divorce thing comes down to I didn't know what I was getting into until I got into it.
It's what you make it.
or people changed.
True.
The other person changed, or you changed because you're not
True.
at 38 who you were at 24.
And you guys just didn't grow together.
And
Right.
you can't be mad
Or
at
in
a
the same
person
way.
for that.
Right.
And I think we'll villainize whoever. And I know that a lot of times women file for divorce, but the reality is if they've changed and shit's changed,
But
don't
why
be
can't
sour.
Can I ask a question? Why can't you be mad about it? So you're changing, and if you're communicating effectively about, man, this is the direction I'm going in, and she makes, we'll just use her in this situation. She makes a rational decision not to follow and grow with you. Why can't you be mad at the fact that, dang,
She didn't want to.
If
Right.
She didn't want to. That wasn't her path.
then you mad. Like why we said we're gonna do this together, and then all of a sudden you want to take a left turn.
But be
Right?
mad at your mistake for choosing the wrong.
In a relationship, a woman tends to mimic a man. It just takes. She's sitting back. Maybe she's quiet with it or loud.
That's
but
bullshit.
She's sitting back and watching that man, and he's changed up. No, he's changed up. He'll change up, and then she not say nothing, and she go with it. And then a year go by, or 6 months go by. How long? And she switches up, and then she's in the wrong. If she changes her mind.
I don't believe. Go ahead, Des.
No, I mean, like that. Lost my thought. Go ahead.
I don't believe that a woman mimics a man. I do believe that good women follow their man's lead. But to say that a woman mimics a man, I don't believe so. I believe why a lot of relationships and this is what we were talking about, growth, where I grow this way, you grow that way, we're growing apart. It's because they're not mimicking them. I mean, if they were mimicking them, they would literally grow together. So I think that you can't get mad at someone for growing in this way or growing that way because we all take different paths. Maybe they get closer to the Lord. Maybe they do. Either ways, it's a choice you could have made. And I do believe you have an opportunity, right? I do believe they bring that up to you and they say, hey, we've been fat asses our whole life. Now I want to get in the gym and live a healthier lifestyle. If I make that choice and you choose not to follow it, that's a choice you made. So you can't be mad at me for wanting to be better and you being okay with where you are. Once you make that choice, now we're okay to leave.
And that's why I said you can be mad at her for
Yeah,
it.
you can be mad.
That's all
No,
I'm
I
saying.
thought you were saying, why can't you be mad?
No, yeah, you should be able to be mad. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I just think you should be mad at you.
Well, people change, you know. I think they say every 5 to 10 years, a person changes their likes, their dislikes, their behaviors every
I
five to
agree.
10 years. So the person, if you start off with that person at 18, that person's not going to be the same person at
Couldn't
35
be.
years.
Agreed.
There's
Can't
no way
be.
possible. You start off with little coins. 10 years from now, you got a lot of coins. His
Yeah.
behavior is going to be completely different. That's why situations that I've seen where well, I started off with him and we were broke. Now 10 years from now he leaves me and he's spending the money with her. You know, it's because y'all didn't have it when y'all first got it.
Yeah.
He has it now because they just got together. You know, so it's a two different programs
You
altogether.
know, I think it's. Go
Let me
ahead.
say this right quick.
No.
But you're gonna change.
I would argue that people's behaviors don't change. I would say that people are who they are.
That's
What their goals are and what they ultimately become, you know, through the course of their life maybe has an impact on how they behave sometimes, but I don't think it changes overall behavior. What I would say is if you date enough a fuck boy, right, who don't have shit and y'all don't have shit together, and then he gets some money or he comes into some money and then he does fuck boy shit, there should be no surprises. The only reason that maybe this is a little bit more noticeable is because now he has assets, right? If you get with a good dude who doesn't have much, guess what that good dude who doesn't have much is going to do when he gets much?
Yeah.
The same
He's
shit he
still
was
gonna be a
doing, he's gonna be
solid
good.
motherfucker. So I think people tend to be who they are, but I think how people grow is different, right? Some people become more free, to Jeezy's point. Some people become more religious. Some people really grasp onto that corporate ladder and try to climb that. And at the end of the day, that's why I think, and this is maybe a whole nother podcast, but that's why I think marriage is really kind of overrated.
You know, not to go
It's
down
not.
that road because we'll be down there for a long time.
Why is it not overrated though?
But
just
it's gonna be a
so
whole
I can.
podcast.
I think
That's what
it's
I said.
underrated. That's why so many people are not doing it.
A lot of niggas done jumped in. A lot of niggas done jumped in.
And 51%
Got out the pool real quick, nigga. Got out the pool real quick.
51% of marriages end in divorces.
But I actually want to speak to your point, and I agree with you. People are who they are, and I think their underlying self remains.
Gonna be there,
and I think that at different times in your life, you're focused on different shit, right? So I've always been a health enthusiast, but there was a period in my life, maybe a decade or so, where I didn't really give a shit as much, right? I was probably still hooping. I was in decent shape, but it wasn't really my thing. But always, my whole life, I've been athletic, been playing sports, etc. So now I'm more living that healthy lifestyle. I think it's always been me. However, if you were never that person, right? You were young. You know, a lot of women are young and naturally in shape, and in shape by default. They get older. You know, in college they have the freshman 15, nigga, the sophomore 30, nigga, and you looking at the junior 45.
Well, I don't know if it goes like that.
But some people take that. No, I try. A fine girl I work with, boy. She's so bad, and I don't know what happened to her, boy. She got about 2 of her on her now. My point of the matter is, that was always her. She was always lazy. She was always going to end up this way. It's just she wasn't there. You just didn't see it because what? She was in shape because she was young. I was always a health enthusiast. You just didn't see the extent of it because I didn't need to overdo it, but that was always me.
Most people look at, and this is the reason people make mistakes, right? It isn't that the facts and the science aren't there. It's that most people look right in front of their face and not a step beyond it.
Yeah.
And if what's in front of your face is what you kind of want to see anyway, then your brain rationalizes, why do I need to look any further for something that's right in front of my face?
I hate that. You're right.
I want to see.
You're a dead ass right.
The people who are successful in things, and not just marriage and not just business, but
relationships,
but
whatever,
in general, have the ability or the tendency to peek around,
see the bigger picture.
But you know that shit is a developed skill set, bro. That is not something that you get when you're young.
Young people don't have that.
Young boys ain't gonna get that, boy. We out here trying to get it.
The worst part is we understand the concept and maybe have always. But again, we are so what's in front of you. No delayed gratification. I want it right now, and nigga don't think ahead.
So you say youth is wasted on the young. Yeah. Imagine the wisdom that a 35 or 40-year-old could pass to an 18, 19-year-old youth.
And they still won't listen.
I think they might, because you know them. You get them to.
That maybe you too.
I think, well, in my cases, I think, of course, we're physically, we're drawn physically. But men can't get past, a lot of men can't get past the physical appearance. I guess until you've been hurt, and then you be like, you know what, I'm not so much a look. And I think I've taken on a man's approach when it comes to a relation. Well, for as I date based on how you treat me, not so much of how you look. And I
So
think
you'll date an ugly man. You'll date a 3.
I'll date a 0
Damn.
for as
Damn.
looks, because all
You're
that's
doing
a big
God's
thing.
work, girl. You're doing God's
No,
work.
I'm serious. Because if that person treats you genuine, like you say, if he
That
has
nigga better. That nigga better. Dog, when you walk through the fucking door, you better grab your purse, nigga, and hand you your goddamn dinner. A 0.
No, listen.
I'm talking about
I'm gonna tell you why she's right though.
y'all
Let me tell
want
you.
perfection. Y'all
You
want
a 0,
perfection.
fellas.
And
Do everything,
whatever.
nigga.
Y'all want perfection, and then you give them, so you discard. We just discard each other based on appearance. You know what I mean? We discard
I
each other
actually
based on
disagree
appearance.
with you. I actually disagree with you.
Surprise,
But you
surprise.
have to go through a process. You have to be hurt to appreciate you.
No,
you don't.
I have realized now, and I'm 40 years old. I'm not even fucking ashamed because I look fucking good. So, I know that men don't want perfection. We don't want that shit.
We really
want
don't.
a chick that is relatively in shape. You want a pretty girl. You want to see her and say, like I said, Usher, there goes my baby. You know what I'm saying? You want to see and be attracted to her, but we don't want perfection. Though, how many times have we sent posts, Des on IG, and be like, boy, she bad, but nigga don't need all that. Like, men don't want perfection. We want to see a version of what we met. So we'll take 10 to 15 pounds up. But team, when y'all start changing the game, I'm not gonna get into that. That shit gonna get me upset.
Yeah,
But my point of the matter is, men don't want
I
perfection.
take it back. Well, take it back then. Take it back.
Perfection.
But everybody's not looking for a wife neither, and everybody's not looking for a husband.
That's true.
So I guess in that you want your those slide up on.
Yeah.
Swoop up on to look good. Or,
Love, you said something. You said something about. I just lost it.
Another disadvantage is men are less sexually fulfilled. As far as a disadvantage of living together before marriage, they say men tend to be less sexually fulfilled.
why?
I don't know.
You should be riding around and getting it if you ain't in that situation.
I think this speaks to something more in the man. I don't believe every man is meant to be in a relationship. So if a man is feeling unfulfilled because he feels like maybe he's missing what's out there.
That's FOMO.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like that.
How I'm out here, I'm missing out on all this pussy, but I got this, and you're not kind of seeing the value in what you have. And not to make an excuse for that person. That person is who they are. But to me, I really believe some of that can be mitigated if you, the person, the woman or the man, become the best version of yourself. And I'm not talking about just career-wise and educational. A lot of women love to say, I got this degree, I got this job. We get it. I can't fuck your degree, ho. Like, be the best version of yourself in every way. And a lot of that is physical. Do the research. Google. Men are physical creatures. We like physical shit. We are visual creatures. I don't get why we constantly have to feel bad about that. We have been... Society almost forces you to feel bad, like, oh, you gotta love me for me, like, oh, that's all you're about is the fit. Like, dog, we're still animals, we're still men. There's nothing wrong with that. A man can enjoy the physical, enjoy the sex, and still want to take care of you, still want to help take care of your family, like, and be ingrained in your life in every way. I don't see why we have to give up one thing, but do everything else. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Spray that out.
I know.
Sure, spread.
Another thing, disadvantage could be religious objections and disputes. I can't imagine living with someone you don't talk about, what religion they are. But I guess, if someone's Christian and another person's maybe Catholic, that could be an issue, or Muslim.
I think I kind of grew up seeing this like perpetuate its way out into an everyday thing. See, my mom was super Christian, and she would be there for Bible study, revivals, 3 services on Sunday, right? My dad at that time was not that. a true Rastafarian. I live in life, and so he would be doing the exact opposite. Would be spending his time at Bayfront Park. I listen to tunes and such, So I would see the conflict that would arise between them in as it relates to that, because in a way they were somewhat unequally yoked, and it created a lot of angst. It wasn't until you had to learn, like I felt like my mom had to understand that I have to let it be and let him find his way, rather than allow this to be a true issue within the relationship. But I can only imagine that you're living with someone day in, day out, and something as important as religion is you have complete opposite.
That's a
views
little
on.
bit different for in this that.
I'm just saying in general,
because his religion was still the same. He just wasn't practicing it because he was hitting hoes. You know what I'm saying?
He was.
Shout out Pops.
It was not his shit though. Like, to be honest with you, even outside of what he was doing, it like he had a more Rastafarian mentality, right? So I'm just saying, if
But he
someone is
wasn't
on
resistant
something,
to the religion.
oh, he was
you know what I'm
super resistant to it.
Yeah, from the perspective of he didn't want to live the lifestyle, but it wasn't something he didn't agree with. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, he wasn't Muslim,
Yeah.
but the point I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, if you're not on the same page, it could be an issue.
For sure, for sure. This last thing here, as far as the disadvantages, it could have a negative impact on your children living together before marriage. It said your kids are 3 times as likely to be expelled from school or get pregnant, and they are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and 22 times more likely to be incarcerated if your kids grow up in a home where their parents are not married.
Dang, boy, that's a lot of pressure.
That is too much.
Shit.
Yeah. And I think if we all think about it, these numbers make sense. If we really think about it. Because the importance of having 2 parents in the home and
Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit.
and living together again, because you have the ability to walk away, it's not the same stability as the marriage. Like, a nigga is really gonna think 28 million times about leaving his wife
if he's
involved. Married versus if it was his girlfriend. If it was his girlfriend, even if he had kids, I think he'd still be gone. You know what I mean? I think the marriage helps him, maybe work through things more, be a bit more patient.
Love?
Share a story. I lived in a household where my father wasn't my father, but he treated me like his daughter. I never knew the difference.
Yeah.
And they never got married. And watching their relationship is why I've always desired a committed live-in relationship. So I guess they didn't get my poll when they did that statistic.
Yeah. They didn't say 100%, so
I agree
few
with
was
that,
gonna slip through.
because I don't think that the reason for the success of the kids is because of the marriage. I think that what happens is that parents who, maybe I don't quite agree or disagree, but here's my point. I think that parents who want to be together in a committed relationship oftentimes marry. That marriage produces some of the benefits we have previously discussed around the financial and some of the responsibilities, and therefore that by default provides a little bit more structure for a kid. Mm-hmm. It's not that not being married you can't produce or set an example, really good example of relationships for children. What typically happens is it's 2 motherfuckers that had a kid on accident or don't really fuck with each other like that, but it's what Jeezy initially spoke about, which is the pure financial convenience of it. Yeah. So yeah, this is quote unquote, watch my language, this is a bitch I was fucking, she got pregnant. Yeah. But we splitting this rink. It's only 6.
So there's no stability for the kids to be successful.
Correct. Yeah. It's not the institutional marriage all the way.
You don't have to. I've actually been hearing a lot of women be more open to a committed relationship where they don't live with their partner and that they don't want to. You know what I mean? And they want to travel. They want to be with only them. They don't want multiple men. They just want to have their own space.
Oh, and I know someone who's like that. One of our frat brothers. But let me just tell you, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say in any way, shape, or form. A truly committed live-in relationship with plausible marriage is a gravitational pull, bruh. Because as much as he wanted to live his life that way and was fine with it like this and that for 15 years, at some point he was like, man, this bitch don't move in, dog. I ain't doing this shit no more. If we don't got
it's
this,
inevitable.
if we ain't creating this whole storefront and this is how we moving forward, then I'm not doing it. Like, eventually everyone gets here. So I think we playing the fool right now, saying like, yeah, the whole live-in thing is all great, but everyone wants that at some point.
I think our generation wanted that, but my opinion is that's not going to sustain. I don't think this new generation
they ain't
gives
fucking with
two shits about.
I mean, I'm saying out the gate, I believe you think like long term, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, you don't think that gravitational pull still exists?
Nah, not at all. Because I think it's a fundamental difference in how they're coming up and the things that are important to them. I don't think they want to work in 9-to-5 jobs.
Correct.
They don't want to own homes.
Correct.
Like, all that shit is true. So my point is, all those things are literally contradictory to what we were trying to achieve growing up. They're so different than us. Yeah. So I don't think there's a lot of I don't think we can draw any similarities from ourselves.
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but we don't have enough data points because they ain't lived enough life for us to understand whether they're gonna pull back into the shit that we've been doing.
I think based on what 20-somethings do now and how different their priorities are than ours were at 20, I think you can extrapolate that there's going to be divergent paths at the age of 50. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I can see him at 60 getting married. Like you said, Don Cheeto, he got to be in his mid to late 50s.
As a woman, again, go back to respect level. If we have a slip up and we didn't bond together, we were just booty. And we have a slip up. No, seriously, if we have a slip up, I don't think you should have to instantly move in together. The child and the mother can respect you more if you just take care of your responsibilities.
It's
because
true.
you never really got a bond with the woman.
A lot of lies.
You had a slip up. No, if you just have a slip up with her and you didn't have a bond, but they can respect you as a man. If you come by there, how often, take care of your responsibilities, see your child.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You need to teach a master class. I hear you. No,
it's just crazy how we, take from our parents, and what we learn and what they teach us. So we want to make them proud. We think what they're doing is right, and we follow suit, and we realize, maybe that wasn't for me. Maybe you know what I mean. So hindsight is always 20/20, and hindsight is always a bitch. But like, I think this generation may have it right in some ways. Figure your own shit out. Don't look at what I'm doing. Do you, bruh? Because shit is the same. Shit isn't the same. And if I would have looked at what my parents did, I would have waited. I wouldn't have rushed into a marriage or whatnot, because the reality is a nigga needed more time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need to incubate for a little bit.
Yeah, I needed more time. All right, so let's wrap up with some quick tips for shacking up. One, Love said it earlier, communicate. Mm-hmm. Two, I want to say pick your battles. I don't think anyone could disagree with that.
Unless you like to argue like me.
Yeah.
But
I see it in your eyes.
Nothing's wrong with, enjoying a good dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's always bad. That type of challenge actually keeps you interested sometimes. Make personal time for yourself.
Yeah, this is a big miss for most people.
A lot of people get in a relationship and
lose themselves, bro.
And not even that. I feel like the person on the other end is like, man, now they're with me. We're supposed to do everything together. No, bitch. Like, I want to go get a pedicure alone. Like, I don't think you have to do everything together. I know that was a weird thing.
Weird example.
Yeah, but I do enjoy a good pedicure. Ling Ching, she'll rub them toes.
I just had one too.
You know what I'm saying?
Shocking.
Keep some things a mystery. We talked about shitting and farting earlier. Those would be two to start with. You know what I mean? But keep some things a mystery, whatever that may be.
Smear that shit on the wall, and if he stay, he really loves
No, keep some things a mystery, man. Like,
I say pee on her in the shower, and if she don't trip, that's the keep.
That's the one to keep. Okay.
We're talking about
that
kinks.
Sounds real.
That's another
that's
episode,
a kink. Keep the romance alive. This is big for obvious.
This is to me. I think this is the biggest one because this is where everyone falls on the wayside. They let go of all the things that they were doing prior, and then all of a sudden want to know why things have changed.
And and find out what romance means.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Do not define romance by what you Google, you lame nigga.
Or what you like yourself.
Don't base it on yourself. Correct. You got to find out what works for the other person, and And that's the way you base your romantic approach.
Yeah, find out their love language.
You sounding educated.
Find out their love language and love them that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is for real. And at the end of the day, and last but certainly not least, be prepared to walk away if this is not what you want. It is okay for you to want something different. You know what I'm saying? And if one person says, hey, I just want to commit a relationship, I want to live together, and you want marriage, you have to be willing to walk away. But if you concede and you take what he wants, you're only going to have resentment towards him, and you really need to be able to move on. So I think when things really aren't fundamentally working and you realize you are who you are and they are who they are, you got to be ready to walk away regardless.
That's what it is.
Take the L.
Any final thoughts from you, Love, on this whole topic around cohabitation, shacking up, living together, whatever you want to call it?
Of course, I'm going to go with living together.
Mm-hmm.
Did I win the car?
No, you ain't win no car because we want the same thing, so we both winning. We winning each other.
So what's your thoughts on that? What do you want to tell the brunchies in regards to your perspective on it?
Well, it's my relationships. I think relationships are beautiful. I'm actually happy that in the last few years, more people in the entertainment industry are coupling up and actually working together. There was a misconception that you couldn't, generate an honest coin with someone in the entertainment industry. And a lot of people in the industry are showing that that's a lie. You can actually do that for a long term. But I'm with living.
Word.
So.
D.
Hey, man. Be true to yourself. Do you, bro?
And I'll just say this.
You're part of the do you generation.
I'll just say this lastly. If you really want that person to desire to live with you, especially a man, ladies, wake them up to some head on a consistent
I figured
basis.
that's how it was going to go.
I don't care what y'all say.
I'm not saying
but
that.
I know this, that if you take 3 days a week and you make sure you wake him up to head, I don't know if that nigga ever leaving.
And I completely disagree, because if he don't really fuck with you, there's 5, 6, 7 girls he can get head from. So if that's the way you're gonna keep him, make sure you got the best head.
Yeah,
That's a hard thing to be able to gauge too.
And I'm not saying it's the other stuff don't matter. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying men are simple creatures, right? And
Some
that
of
type
us
of all of us, dog.
The older we get, the more complex
You know what
we
I'm saying?
get.
Them,
bro.
not all of us. So obviously we want the trust, the loyalty, and all that other shit. I'm saying, if assuming all of that is there, don't let that aspect die. Keep that passion, keep that nastiness, keep that vibe. I think that creates longevity.
It's what we just said. Find out how that motherfucker likes to be appreciated.
You're right.
For me,
You're right.
dog, you know what I want? Make me a quiche and some fresh squeezed orange juice and bring it to me in the bed.
Like fresh.
Damn, you really fancy. You want a whole quiche, bro?
To me, you know, the effort going into making a quiche, that says something to me. Give me some
I try to
It's
say
much
that.
more
I say
difficult to
that
make me
all
a
the
quiche than
time,
give me
bro.
some head.
It is.
So,
I say the simple thought, like the effort, goes a long way, man.
I actually feel you, because like if somebody got me insomnia cookies, I'd probably shed a tear.
That's
You know
a simple thing, though,
Like
man.
it's a simple thing, and then maybe you bring me a spliff with it. You know what I'm saying? They stay rolled up in the drawer. You know where they are. That would make me happy.
You know what would be thoughtful? Somebody know how much you like to indulge, and they bring you just a quarter some icky.
Yeah.
Just say I was thinking about you, and
I've
I heard
had
about
that
this.
actually. I've had a chick buy me a half ounce.
That's way better than her giving me some
Dog,
head, ain't it?
way better. Dog, keep your mouth hole. Send the trees.
Goddamn.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
awesome.
I think for me
You're right.
to wrap it up is, like, most of the time that people get to the point where they want to live with someone, it's because of what you're doing right now. So, like, at the end of the day, don't change up the formula so much to the point it's unrecognizable, because that's the only reason they were getting with you in the first place. So I think that would be my final thought on that. But shout out to my love, aka Love.
We appreciate you.
We do appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, we're gonna again post her 2 singles out right now. Show her all the love. If you're gonna show her the same amount of love you show Brunch with the Boys, we're gonna love you for that. Brunch with the Boys, we're on all podcast platforms, YouTube presence. Remember that we are on all social media as well. Instagram at Brunch with Boys. We are on YouTube as well, but we're also on TikTok, Brunch with the Boys. We're on TikTok at boys_brunch. Reach out to us. Tell us what topics you want. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Like I said, and mimicking Des, if you hear it, you like it, share it. You know what I'm saying? Love again. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate you, girl. Appreciate you.
Hey, how do they find you?
I
How do
got
they find
brothers
you?
in Miami, Orlando. Huh?
How do they find you from a social media standpoint? You want to shut that up?
At Millenium Lady Love, yes. On IG, Millenium Lady Love on Facebook and IG. Big Head Girl, yes.
Not big head
Actually,
girl.
no.
Big head girl.
Big
Yeah,
Head,
yeah, big to
Big
blow
Head
up.
Girl. But I thank y'all for having me. It was nice.
Appreciate you.
Catch up
Appreciate you.
later.
Take care,
Yeah.
girl. Take care.
All
All
right,
I'll
right.
stay in touch.
Oh yeah.
We got you.
Booking that flight tomorrow.
Yeah, coffee and brunch. We could have our conversations over coffee and brunch. Ha.